Hello, it is Saturday, which means we are back for yet more brand new Doctor Who with Season 2, Episode 3, The Well. So, I just finished watching the episode, and my takes are going to be very interesting because I'm going to say right now, if you have not watched this episode and you kind of do want to go watch it because it's a sequel to a very beloved episode during season 4 or series 4 of Doctor Who that everybody loves but I don't. So I suggest go watch The Well right away. Um, and then once you've watched it, come back and hear my takes. So, you have been warned. Progressing any further is going to be, you will be spoiled. So, this episode is a sequel to the much beloved episode Midnight. And I have been very vocal in the past of my disdain for this episode. I know everyone loves Midnight. I just could never get into it. I've watched it several times. I get its messaging. I get what it's trying to convey. It just isn't for me. However, after watching this sequel to this episode, um, I love this episode more because the intrigue is done so much better. Just everything about it just seems so much better. So yeah, The Well is yet another episode. That's 3 for 3 this season so far of 3 episodes that I've really enjoyed. The Robot Revolution was pretty good. Last week's episode, Lux was really really good. But this is probably the best of the season so far, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm going to say it. The Well is the best so far out of the 3 episodes that we've gotten. I'm sure I'm not alone in that statement. So the Doctor, it basically picks right back up where we left off from last week's episode. And the only gripe that I actually do have for this episode is the whole them going through to the closet again. They basically do the exact same scene as last week, where they disappear in the lower end, come out of the topper end with a new costume, this time in the spacesuits. Funny enough, is the exact same spacesuits that everyone else wears in this episode. So that wasn't explained. Like, is it just that's just a spacesuit that the Doctor knew he had to wear in order to blend in, or is it just a case of, oh, we have these two spacesuits? Thank God it's not the fucking orange one. I'm sick of seeing that thing from back when it was used quite a bit. So having a new spacesuit, I'm all for it. And then immediately, as soon as they step out, they had to gear up and jump down onto this planet, um, where there was a colony. Now, to begin with, it was given very alien vibes, from the very first Alien film, of them landing on this, or rather Alien 2, to be precise, Aliens, where they go to this planet, that there's a colony. That colony has been wiped out, except there's one survivor. In Aliens, it was of course a little girl, but in this, it's a older woman, who is deaf, and that's a main pivotal part to her to this story, is the fact that she is deaf. So as they're walking through the base, they're finding that all these mirrors have been broken. That between the 34 dead bodies that they found, either half of them have been shot, or the other half have had everything broken. And so eventually they find the only survivor. They talk for a bit, then some of them go to the control room. Belinda stays behind, and that's where in between the Doctor being in the control room and Belinda there, trying to get some medical supplies done, they mention Earth and the humans, and these people don't know what Earth is, which we knew of. We did know that this was going to be something that gets mentioned a good bit throughout this era, this season, and it's definitely in setting up an intrigue, especially at the end of this episode. And then the planet gets designated as 67. That then it's got the big reveal, and I'm very happy with that reveal. It was handled really, really well. Where, the planet, like 400,000 years ago, used to be covered in diamonds, and that ticks the Doctor off. He's like, diamonds? What was this planet called? And she's like, well, it's designated 6767. He's like, no. What was it called before that? And then she said, midnight. And that's when the Doctor realizes that as they were digging down, it's a mining planet, they unleashed the same creature that the Doctor faced when he was there 4,000 years ago in his 10th, or in what we know as the 10th body, but really his 12th incarnation, 11th incarnation, with Donna. And so that's when they figure it out, because as well, they know that something's behind her. That made me think of Turn Left, with the beetle behind Donna's back. And then, someone goes behind her and they get murked off. And that's when everyone comes running in, and that's when it's revealed that this creature will kill anyone at midnight. So say if you're standing and like in the middle, then you have like the whole circle around you, that's the clock face. So behind you is midnight, in front of you is 6 o'clock. So anyone that goes behind you gets killed instantly. And so they come in order to save her. The Doctor goes up to the survivor, looks at the creature, because the creature knows his name. Now, it's not specified which name they're referring to. Is it the name of the Doctor, or is it the Doctor's true name? That's never mentioned. That I like that. I like that they didn't do that. Because it could be both. It could be the Doctor, or it could be the Doctor's real name. Because remember, in midnight, the creature got inside the Doctor's head. So the creature could see everything. They had access to everything, even stuff that the Doctor probably didn't know. About the whole War Doctor, and the whole Timeless Child thing. And so eventually they come up with a way to save her by revealing, adding in a mirror so the creature can see itself, to detach itself. And then as they're about to escape, attaches on to Belinda. And so she gets shot, and hopes to that she lives. It has to be the best shot, which is one of the characters' main characteristics, is she's one of the best shots. And so that way, killing it goes to her. So she runs back to the well, and she self-sacrifices herself. And so they make it back to the TARDIS, and then they go away. And Mo was one of the characters, was filling in the head person, of course. And the thing that the Doctor's using to be able to get back to Earth, got mentioned, of course, is Mrs. Flood, in a Star Trek uniform. Kind of, again, similar to last season, with Susan Twist being in every episode. I still don't know how I feel about that. The fact that we're still doing the same thing that we done last season, just with a different character. Obviously, I want to know who Mrs. Flood is. There's a plethora of different theories, just like there was for Susan Triad last season. And then it turns out that the person who self-sacrificed herself, name is escaping me, might not have been the actual one that it attached to. It might actually attach to Mo. And then the episode ends. So like I said, this to me is the best episode this season so far. Would it be my favorite episode of Ncuti's era? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say this is probably the best episode of Ncuti's era. Going with the episodes that we have access to so far, it's definitely up there. And so obviously now next week is Lucky Day, which is going to have Ruby Sunday back in it. So hooray! So that is going to be my review. If you enjoyed this review and you love Doctor Who, make sure to subscribe, because I'll always bring you new Doctor Who reviews as the episodes come out. I've also reviewed every season or series of Doctor Who from 2005 to present. That will be in a playlist called Doctor Who Reviews and More, as well as I've done some classic Doctor Who, as well as I've done, I reviewed the 1996 movie. I've also reviewed the first Peter Cushing film. So maybe I might do the next Peter Cushing film at some point further down the line. But as always, I'll be back to you next Saturday we're already going to be at the fucking halfway point of the season, which I hate the fact that we're only getting 8 episodes this season now. I miss the days of getting the 13 episode seasons plus the Christmas special. I miss those days. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But anyway, if that subscribe button just glowed and you're not subscribed, I would recommend subscribing because I love Doctor Who, as you can tell by the figures behind me there. So why not subscribe? I'll be back again next week for some more Doctor Who reviews. I'll catch you all on the very next upload.